All right, guys, so we are 6 characters in, which means now we are going to change our location just so the background music is a little bit more varied. We're here for the music as I'm reading, so this is a good spot. And you guys got here at a perfect time because we're here. We're about to get into the CEO of Geo, Daddy Zhongli. All right, so next up we got Zhongli, aka Rex Lapis, aka Morax, aka the CEO of Geo, aka Big Dong Zhong, aka okay, I'm gonna stop.
Osmanthus.
We basically have Zhongli next. All right, birthday New Year's Eve, December 31st. Pog, affiliated with Liyue Harbor. Oh, I actually never noticed that. It doesn't say vision, it says gnosis. It says gnosis instead of vision. I actually, oh, does it do it for Venti? Oh, it does it for Venti too. Wait, hold up. Did Zhongli come out before it revealed that he was the Archon? Because unless they edited that afterwards, wouldn't that have given it away that he was the Geo Archon? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people came to that conclusion. Oh, they did change it. Okay. I was about to say, what the heck? If I had noticed that, that's a big spoiler. All right. Anyways, that's pretty cool. A mysterious expert contracted by the Wangsheng funeral parlor, extremely knowledgeable in all things because he's existed for like 6,000 years. Character details. In Liyue's traditional customs, receiving adepti and sending adepti off is equally important. The Hus of the Wangsheng funeral parlor, who has been in this business for 77 generations, are the masters of handling funerals. However, Hu Tao, the current owner of Wangshen Funeral Parlor, primarily focuses on the art of sending mortals their way. For the various ceremonies for sending adepti off, Hu Tao usually employs the help of a friend in more or less the same business. This person's name is Zhongli, the adepti who's been with Liyue for millennia, but only a handful have ascended in the last 3,000 years, which means that everything regarding this tradition now only exists in text. This is not something one would likely witness twice in their entire lifetime. Not even the most particular and learned of researchers or scholars could find one fault in Wangsheng Funeral Parlor ceremonies for sending adeptus off, which must be perfect for the costumes, the time, the place, the items, the weather, the scheduled length, the size of the permitted audience, to the stature, profession, and age of said audience. Nothing can be overlooked. When folks describe Zhongli as living history, the latter usually only smiles in sighs. I just have a good memory. This cocky bastard. Oh man. Character story 1. In Liyue, if a person pays great attention to detail and has insuperable criteria by which they judge certain matters, then they are called particular. In truth, everyone is particular about something. Some people hate spicy foods, Chongyun. Others don't eat fish, and some want their tofu served sweet. Okay, that's definitely that almond tofu. That says a Zhao reference there. But as for Zhongli, he is particular about everything. He attends operas performed by only the most celebrated stars, takes only the most luxuriant thrushes out for walks, and he goes into the kitchen personally to instruct the cooks as to the ratio of shrimp and fish required to make the most authentic full moon egg. Zhongli has expertise in all manners of things, from fashion to daily essentials, to fine, Osmanthus wine. I can never hear that quote enough, to fine wines and delicacies, to teas and spices, and to flora and fauna. He is also more than capable of participating in discussions on commerce, politics, and international relations. But on a typical day, all you will glean on him is a few pieces of useless trivia, because he particularly enjoys sharing these fun tidbits with you. Yeah, I mean, his entire quest was talking about stuff that really didn't, like, he was like talking about Noctilus's jade and freaking like how to make like the right hint of perfume. Like everything needed to be perfect for the send-off of his death, essentially. So I agree, he's definitely particular. He's kind of like a jack of all trades expert, you know, because he's lived through it all. When making a purchase, look to haggle. This is a common understanding amongst the people of Liyue. Makes sense. No matter what high heavens the store owner praises their product to, no matter its ancient history or classical value, prices are always flexible. Half the stated cost is a good place to start. But when Zhongli pays up, or rather calls for someone else to pay on his behalf, he never looks at the price tag. Yeah, because he makes the money. He is money. As long as it catches his eye, Zhongli will pay as much as the owner asks. Indeed, he will even buy it at a premium sometimes. But for some reason, Zhongli always forgets to bring money. From small purchases, he has friends to help him out, and large bills he somehow finds a way to have written off. Yeah, it's called his sugar daddy. daddy, child of the 11 harbingers. So yeah, to those merchants who secretly pride themselves on their power of flattery, Zhongli is a man of strange proclivities. In truth, he knows a great deal about the value of money and finances, and also understands the suffering of the people. However, he seems to not understand that poverty is part of the human condition. Or perhaps it might be said that he cannot imagine himself being poor. How has such a person not died of hunger yet? That is true. Like, that's privilege right there when you think about it. Like, yeah, you're a god. Yeah, you made money. Yeah, you've helped this entire, like, everyone reveres you and thinks fondly of you and speaks of you in high esteem and all that. But like, bro, you don't know what it's like to go without. And it's kind of crazy how he just goes out there. I mean, I guess it's nice that he pays a premium, you know? If you have it, that's probably, you obviously want to support people, support businesses. I ain't saying he's a gold digger. I mean, I'm not saying, can you be a gold digger when the gold comes from you to begin with? I just think it's funny. Maybe it's a little, maybe it's like he takes it for granted too. It's like, well, I come from money, so I just never think to, you know what I mean? Like, probably just make money out of the palm of his hand if he wanted to, before he gave up his gnosis or his status or whatever. But I think that's really funny. Yeah, there's some good and bad to that for sure. Character story 3. There is no way Zhongli can starve. Such concern as profit and loss are beneath his notice. The 7 nations and the world itself are where his efforts are directed. As for wealth, he is wealth itself. He is Morax, the overlord Rex Lapis who rules Liyue and the Geo Archon of the 7 Archons. The very money that circulates throughout Teyvat, Mora, is named after him. When night falls and bustling Liyue begins to sleep, he will sometimes stand atop the towering mountains and gaze upon the city which he made with his own hands. That's crazy, dude. To the people of Liyue, Rex Lapis has many divine titles. When he lays down Liyue's law with his divine might, he was the god of contracts. When he minted the first Mora and made Liyue strong by dint of commerce, the merchants revered him as the god of commerce. He's also like the god of stove and stuff like that. I did this one quest where this guy like gave us like random lore about like the fact that I think he created like one of the first stoves or whatever with like stone stoves. He has lived through countless years and is the eldest of the 7, so historians call him the god of history. Okay, we're getting through all of his aliases. Thousands of years ago, the forebearers of the citizens of Liyue Harbor struck stone together to start fire and used piled stones to create stoves. This blessing derived from the Geo element led by the Geo Archon and gained the title God of the Stove. People from other lands tend to call him Morax, though the people of Liyue prefer to use the term Rex Lapis. But in the hearts of the lovers of opera and children, Morax is on stage. Oh my god, this is so good. This man's like 1,000,001 different things. But in the hearts of lovers of opera and children, Morax's on-stage aspect, the all-conquering defender of Liyue, the warrior god, is the most fascinating. The delicacies that Rex Lapis discovered while lost in the streets, the plaques inscribed with his handwriting, a famous opera that he once starred in, playing the part of a warrior. Many stories and tales in Liyue are, when studied closely, stories of people visited by their deities at some point, and the citizens of Liyue are most proud indeed of that history. I mean, they owe everything to this man. That's so freaking cool. He's embedded into every facet of their history, from their commerce to their way of life to their very survival and like their existence and everything. Character story 4. As the founder of Liyue Harbor, contracts are the most important thing to Morax. From simple monetary exchanges and agreements between merchants to the ancient laws that Morax himself laid down, there is no part of the city life untouched by contracts. To merchants, contracts are the most important standard to which they hold themselves deadlines, invoices, shippings, destinations. Only a refined and strict order can sustain vibrant commerce, which is itself the lifeblood of Liyue Harbor. Thus, the Qixing punish violators of such laws unceasingly, not only to uphold the divine rulings of Morax, but also to allow Liyue to maintain its vitality. Through the millennia, every generation of the Liyue Qixing commits to interpret the law, including subtle amendments to plug loopholes found in the law. That's where Yanfei comes in, ladies and gentlemen. Any loopholes that remain undiscovered are seen by the merchants as permissible if unaddressed, and they make killings off such holes until they are discovered and patched up by the Liyue Qixing. Amidst the game of cat and mouse, the book that collates such amendments has reached a whopping 279 pages thick. The person currently responsible for maintaining this book, the Tianquan Ningguang, and secretly and humorously refers to the Tailor of Liyue in honor of her speed of patching these laws up and for her sharpness of eye. But no matter how complicated or tangled moral laws become, one of these stands above all others in the eyes of Rex Lapis. The one who renenges on their word shall suffer the wrath of the rock. AKA that one dude who was like, nah fam, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna get this God of Salt's stuff and you ain't gonna stop me. And I changed my mind. Dude, that guy got. That's all I'm saying. All right, character story 5. Rex Lapis, most ancient of the 7, has lived far too long. Rex Lapis still remembers that moment when the final Archon took their divine seat, thus ending the Archon War and the era of warring gods. The 7 were a diverse lot and dispersed far and wide, but they all shouldered the burden of guiding humanity. As time passed, many of the 7's titles changed hands, and only 2 remain at the first 7, Rex Lapis and the Animal Archon. The carefree Barbados, the Animal Archon, is the second eldest of the 7. When Barbados first came to Liyue, Rex Lapis believed his fellow Archon to have encountered some terrible crisis in pursuit of their duty, thus requiring his aid. So when Barbados descended into a gust of wind, the Geo Archon had already prepared himself to receive his neighboring deity and lend what help he may. But as he looked, the Animal Archon tossed a wine bottle at him. Here's some wine from Mondstadt. Cared for a taste? To forsake one's duty to deliver a single bottle of wine? What a preposterous notion. Oh, that's venti for you. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. Yet the Animal Archon keeps coming to visit to explore Liyue Harbor, all sorts of strange questions on his lips. The Animal Archon's questions knew as little limit as the wine in his hand. From then on, the first 7 would often gather in Liyue. Rex Lapis still remembers how the wine tasted.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
The world has changed much since then, and all of those once familiar have faded into memory. The 7 seats changed and again were changed until 5 of the 7 at the table were all departed. Nor would the duty of guiding humanity be honored by the new Archons. Even the hardest rocks may weather down after 3,000 years, nor would the winds ever return again. One drizzly night, the ancient ruler was strolling about Liyue Harbor and heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." Long did he stand amidst the milling crowd. Have I already finished my duty? I remember him mentioning that when he talked about, that's why he wanted to retire. He felt like, he already served his purpose. He did what he could. And the whole Liyue storyline was to prove if Liyue was able to carry on without him. And that was going to change everything, He's always lived and served and been their guidance. So that which rises from the sea. During the Archon Wars, every corner of Teyvat was consumed in a fires of conflict. Not only did gods fight amongst themselves, but countless wicked things also sought to expand their dominion. One such type of creature caused no end in woe for the Geo Archon long before he took that title along with his place among the 7. These foul creatures, straight from the murky depths of the ocean abyss, had a squishy exterior and possessed, he's talking about, that's Osile, I think, and possessed agile tentacles that would live on even after being cut off, even secreting some thick and revolting liquid in the process. This alone would have been enough to make the most monstrous of all creatures, and still, it was not the pinnacle of their monstrosities. I think that's Osile. Sounds like it. I know Osile has tentacles, so. What made them so truly terrible was their small size, which gave them the ability to duck into undescribably small nooks and crannies. All right, I don't know what the hell this is now. No space was too narrow for them, neither the wooden boards of tables and chairs, nor the streams of windows and books and curtain folds, nor even books and brushes, or doors, sorry. Many a poor soul had on at least one occasion unwittingly outstretched their hand only to quickly retract in the horror of a blood-curdled scream at the sensation of something cold, clammy, and damp. Wait, is he talking about octopuses? While one or more of the indescribable creatures came clawing at their arm, leaving a shiny trail behind them. At the behest of the people of Liyue, Morax agreed to wipe these creatures out, but these parasites upon civilization cannot be destroyed like enemies on a battlefield. By simply summoning a storm of stone, spears would have shattered the earth and churned the soil. Still, he was the god of contracts. Contracts. His word had to be his bond. So he went through the town from house to house with prison of stone, seizing these creatures one by one and locking them away for good. What the heck is he? This man's the exterminator? The long campaign of pest extermination taught Morax the true meaning of a burden lifted. The gruesome campaign itself and the terrible smell of the ocean creature's secretion left a lasting impression on the deity. Today, even when he goes out incognito as a mortal man, Zhongli, Morax, giving his living, squirming seafood products a wide berth. Well, except for dishes where said seafood product had been sliced and diced into oblivion, such as seafood tofu, he'd quite happily eat those. People of Liyue who live on the ocean, like live off of like the harbor, don't like, I assume it was octopus or squid, some tentacle creature. At first I thought it was like, yeah, Zhongli's out here fighting gods and being, you know, and monsters of all kinds. And then it just like derailed me to, no, they're just these little ocean pests and he decided to take care of it. Backtracking to character story, if Zhongli and Venti were the last two from the Archon War, I'm gonna theorize. Electro Archon recently lost her gnosis, like just before the start of the game, and whichever harbinger is there forced the Sakura decree to prevent anyone from finding out. I mean, that's interesting. That'd be an interesting turn of events instead of us going there to get a gnosis, you know, subvert expectations. Venti lost his gnosis, Zhongli lost his gnosis. It'd be kind of cool to go throughout the whole game and it's like, oh, it was already gone to begin with. I'm assuming Scaramouche might be there because he seems to be like an electro type, and we haven't seen him since version 1.1 for the Unreconciled Stars event, so that'd be pretty pog.
That's it. Just like that. Embrace the anger. Embrace it!
Gnosis! Once a rite of parting of which Zhongli was both director and star was over, the Fatui harbinger named Signora appeared before him. By prior contract, she was here to claim the Geo Archon Morax's gnosis. Before the traveler and the two Fatui harbingers, Zhongli related the truth that he had established a contract with the Cryo Archon. In his final words, this was his final contract to end all contracts. Yet no matter how one looks at it, the loss of his divine ability to defend Liyue was too great a price to pay. Even amidst mortals, the basics of a contract is equivalent exchange. And for the god of contracts, who must have established countless such agreements in long years of existence, such an important contract must have come with its benefits. Now, the Geo Archon has given away his gnosis as a part of the deal. What then must the Cryo Archon have wagered to balance the scale? I'm wondering if he made two separate because he couldn't tell us, right? He couldn't tell. He was like, it's an NDA, I can't say anything. But then when we asked him about Conria in the Ajdaha quest, he was like, I'm also under NDA. So I'm wondering if this is a like 2-for-1. But then again, that was 500 years ago. So did he make a contract then and then another one now, both of which he can't say what it is? So I'm pretty sure you can share your contract information, but that might have been one of the stipulations. So yeah, he couldn't tell us what he did for the Saritsa, and he also couldn't tell us about Conria and his involvement and all of that. So yeah, this man's got a lot of shit. He's got a lot of things to hide, and I hope it doesn't change our perspective on him because I really like Zhongli. Anyways, we got voiceovers, so let's hear them.
A new contract.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm still on leave, but I can accompany you for a while. What name should I use on the contract? I have a great many names. Though when on leave, I tend to go by Zhongli.
Zhongli.
And you, traveler, what name will you be signing on this contract?
MurderofBirds, thank you very much.
Every journey has its final day.
Don't rush.
Don't rush. Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references.
The idle dialogue is so nostalgic. It's like, damn.
Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth, and those that come across Liyue tend to stay a while. So it is where many things come to settle.
Oh man, this is such a meme, dude. This is such a meme. I remember one stream I left and like he said this like 10 times in a row. I hear this so much.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
I know we meme on it, but that line's pretty sad, let's be real.
Violet grass is a plant that enjoys a moist environment and is best picked after it rains. If you should choose to pick any, be sure to store them appropriately.
Yeah, we're gonna learn a thing or two with Zhongli today, guys.
We should look for a place to take shelter. I'll be fine, but we don't want you catching a cold. This weather is no good for being on vacation. We should go and take in an opera.
Ooh, pog.
I hope today, too, shall be prosperous. Want a quick meal to pick us back up? I know a good place in Chihurok.
Yeah, so this is Keith Silverstein? Yeah, so he does the voice of Shido. At least that's what I know him most prominently from. He does the voice of Shido from Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. I've reassimilated the voice to accompany Zhongli as well, because at first I was like, bro, I can't not see Shido when I hear him. Damn, Brat, I'll sue, but we're past that at this point.
By this time of night, we will have already missed Miss Yoon's play. But Liyue is full of interesting places to explore, even at night. The market is closed, and the port has settled. Go get some rest.
Also, I think it's really funny that I just mentioned Persona 5. And I'm wearing a Persona 5 shirt. Anyways.
Nothing can be accomplished without rules or standards. No matter if it is mortals or adepti, everyone has their place.
True.
This rule is what keeps Liyue in peace.
There you go.
Gold is Liyue's treasure. It is the blood that runs through her heart. As for whether your own heart shines like gold, we will have to wait and see.
Why did that sound so ominous? Why did that sound like a threat, dude? What the hell?
You and I have a contract. So feel free to discuss anything at all within the scope of said contract.
Jeez. I'm actually getting a little like Monka W over here. I'm like,
We can discuss matters that fall outside of our contract, too. After all, I have been on this land for a time, and have come to know a thing or two. Of course, I do hope you can do some things for me as well. That would only be fair.
Okay, I'm gonna be dead ass. Like, Zhongli's, it feels like, I don't know, he sounds a little sinister.
Contracts cannot be used to define friendship, nor measure sentiment. So just what can we use to measure the weight of our emotions? Do you know the answer, friend?
No. I can't help you out there, I'm sorry.
Visions are also a type of contract.
Okay, dude.
You
Everything's a
should
contract?
know that all power comes at a price. For every bit of power you gain,
Yeah.
so too do you gain more responsibility.
That's actually true. Holy shit. In the words of Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility.
Trade relies on both contracts and fairness. There is one thing you must never forget when making and abiding by a contract. If fairness is lost, then the contract shall become proof of one's deception.
True. I remember that one guy, again, from the God of Salt quest that we did. He felt the wrath of the rock for sure.
If you're heading to Jueyun Karst, please bring me back a bunch of Chingsin. Just one bunch is enough. Travel expenses? I almost forgot. During the effective period of our contract, travel expenses are to be paid for by yourself. Sorry to bother you.
Damn, dude. He's like, hey, go get me something. Also, I'm not paying.
You speak of the young adeptus of Guili Plains.
Guili Plains, huh?
Still fulfilling his duty to this very day. Please, give this Remedium Tertiorum to him on my behalf.
Remedium Tortiarium.
Oh, yes. Be sure not to let Paimon eat them. Nothing of this world can withstand the power of this medicine.
Oh, that's interesting.
It reeks of wine. That bard has just been through here, hasn't he? That drunkard is a disgrace to the arts.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Has he tricked you into getting drunk? You're slurring a little. Wait a moment. I'll brew a pot of sobering tea. It'll be ready in only 6 hours, so
6 hours?
Just wait a moment.
Venti, man. I'm not surprised, dude. You know, that's his thing. That's his brand.
Despite the multitude of affairs that she deals with in a day, Ningguang always continues to press on.
Yeah.
A rare gem indeed. I'm reminded of the time that she used to walk barefoot from Yaoguang Shoal to the South Wharf.
Damn.
Trying to sell her wares as she went.
Holy shit.
Time is cruel to humans.
Yo, did Ningguang, like, started from the bottom, now we're here? Is that, like, her come-up story? Barefoot? Wait, from the shoals? Hold up. Ningguang walked barefoot. Hold up. Pause, champ. So she walked from all of this barefoot all the way to here. That's the struggle. That's like some rags to riches story. I can't wait to read. I'm actually really excited to use to get to know more about Ningguang. I'll be honest, I didn't really use Ningguang. Her and Noelle were my first 2 pulls on the banner. I got a base Noelle and I got a C1 Ningguang on my first 2 10 pulls on the novice banner. And I used her early on in the game until I got better characters. She's actually she's like level 50 for me right now, and she's friendship 6. So I'm actually interested in using her at some given point when we go to Inazuma. And I actually started leveling up my Memory of Dust. I actually got it to level 40 today. I used up the rest of my 3-star weapons to do it. And I assume this is her best in slot weapon. I just assume it's the only like catalyst catered to a Geo character, which would be her. So yeah, I'm like super interested to start using Ningguang, and after hearing that, I'm definitely interested to start using her character. Oh, Hu Tao, your boss.
The current overseer of the funeral parlor? I cannot deal with that child.
Oh boy, that's funny. Wait, Tartaglia composed and Tartaglia drinks? Yo, your sugar daddy's acting up.
That rascal from Snezhnaya has yet to depart from Liyue.
Rascal?
No matter. Just let me know if he gives you any trouble. I shall deal with the matter swiftly.
Oh boy.
It's said that Child and his reputation have yet again stirred up waves among the inner ranks of the Fatui.
Ooh.
Knowing his type, he will be sure to swiftly depose anyone who dares to challenge his actions.
Okay.
Come to think of it, there will be a lot of interesting news to be heard the next time we gather for drinks.
Oh boy.
Care to join me when the time comes, traveler?
I don't know, man. Like, Child's like a wild card, dude. Like, your boss is doing something shifty, and, you know, that's getting in the way of my journey. I don't know. I like Child. He's a good rival for us, for sure. I just wonder where Child's story is gonna end for us, you know? Especially if, like, he's like a frenemy right now. But, you know, at the end of it all, you gotta pick a side.
Liyue's prosperity has not merely been built on Rex Lapis's oracles or wisdom. It is also thanks to the countless servants of the Geo Archon who have honored their end of the contract.
Yeah.
Of them, Ganyu is the one who has served for the longest time.
Hell yeah.
If you want to know about her past, you should ask her about it. I fear my wording would not be delicate enough to receive her approval.
Yeah, Zhongli's like, I don't want to end this girl's whole career like I did that one girl, like the devotee of salt. Zhongli literally ended her whole career. Like, I feel so bad for that NPC, like wherever she is in the world right now.
She is the most impious of the Qixing.
Kaching.
But I actually find the conviction of such people quite endearing. The only reason I was able to consider taking a step back from such overarching management of Liyue was because there are people like her.
Nice.
People who speak up when they believe themselves to be right, and then go and do something decisive about it.
Hog, dude. She's like a woman of her word. Stands by it. Love it. Oh, Yanfei. Nice.
Despite never having signed a contract with me,
that's true.
She upholds order within many strata of Liyue society in her own way, dispelling misconceptions and correcting biases. Should her father one day return from his travels, I imagine that he would be even more delighted than I.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever learn more about Yanfei's parents.
Why is it that once you finally get a break, rather than taking a rest, you instead come to me? Is it that you want to hear one of my stories?
I miss Zhongli. God, it's gonna be so long before we see him again. Oh, chat, you know what else so you guys are gonna see this soon. I want to show you guys something. So last year when I read the character lore, we read Zhongli's lore, right? And the chasm wasn't out at the time. And he says something that really makes me feel like we're gonna see a certain someone. I want you guys to know if you guys know who he's referring to.
Have you heard of the origin of the Black Cliff Forge?
Mm-hmm. Kinda.
In the past, they would mine the ore veins of Mount Tianhong and then replace the cavities with factory equipment. Tunnels run in all directions throughout the mountain. Some even run to the ruins, deep within the earth. I doubt there is a person today who could map out all the tunnels.
Now, who do we know that maps out tunnels? I actually think we're gonna get a Black Cliff Forge questline in the future, and we're gonna see Jicheng again. I edited Zhongli's video the other day, and I was like, no fucking way. So, I'm like so excited. I'm like, That literally gave me hope. I was like, bro, we're gonna see her again. I hope so. Hoyoverse, write that down. Not a ghostwriter, by the way. Dude, imagine she gets a vision. Oh my god, that'd be insane. If Rana can get, no offense, Rana, but if Rana can get one, any NPC can get a vision. Especially since like her whole thing was she didn't like, she felt like deeply like remorseful for the way she was behaving. And she felt like she wasn't good enough because she didn't have a vision. And then it's like, boom, you get a vision. And it's kind of like all your dreams can come true now. Isn't the Black Cliff Forge where Zhongli, like that one NPC was like, yeah, this is where Morax like put all of his money. Isn't that like the lore of it? Like he's like, that's where his like, that's where he put his stash.
Have you heard of the origins of the lantern, right?
I think so too, yeah.
In a war
Kinda.
long ago,
Yeah.
the people of Liyue would release lanterns to remind their soldiers of the way home and to never lose sight of themselves. Though, in this day and age, I doubt there are any that remember.
Yeah, everybody now is just like, yo, let's party, let's do our own thing.
The God of Contracts. Have you heard of him? He has an impressive memory. He remembers the name of every person he comes across, and the date that every ship built in Liyue set sail.
That's crazy.
After all, only in being able to do so can he memorize all of the contracts he holds.
Contracts, man.
With that said, not every memory is a happy one.
Hey, it do be like this, and thus is life. Am I right or am I right?
For those that live too long, the friends of days gone by and scenes from their adventures live on in their memories. As such, I have no regrets in meeting you, friend.
Aw.
Should the day ever come that we are not together, you will continue to shine like gold in my memories.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss this game when it ends, dude. Like that's like some shit. Like that you say that to somebody. I feel like that's saying you say that to someone that you feel like you're never gonna see again. Oh man, what a homie. I love Zhongli.
I enjoy partaking in walks through the city when time permits. I find it very calming. Yes. Just when did this feeling begin?
Troubles.
To get people to abide by a contract and act in accordance with the guidelines set out within is simply to ask them to respect the concept of fairness. It is not a large request.
True.
How are there those who still do not understand such simplicity?
Oh man, that's funny. That's like, how could you be so dumb as to not understand the concept of fairness?
There was once a drink I used to enjoy with friends long ago.
Aww.
Is it because the climate has changed?
Osmanthus wine.
A shame I will never be able to relish in its smooth flavor again.
Osmanthus wine?
I don't like seafood.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't like seafood.
Bro, you live on the harbor and you don't like No, I'm just kidding. I don't like seafood. I mean, I'm not a fan of seafood, particularly. I like fish, but that's kind of it.
I don't like seafood. Just seeing it reminds me of that slimy texture. And that scent that just won't wash off.
Yeah, I saw it.
As for why I hate it, it's a long story.
Yeah, don't
So
worry.
let's just say my memory is a little too good.
His extermination days later, his pest control days, his first job, am I right? Yeah, that's kind of cool how the stories that you learn about them, they reference some of those get referenced in the dialogue. I really like that.
It seems my strength is returning. Not a lot, but enough. My power is growing, and so with it grows the burden on my body.
Oh boy.
I'm okay. My structure is not the same as that of normal people. Please, do not worry yourself.
You're a god.
I see. Using a vision harnesses elements.
Yeah.
As far as the common folk are concerned, this is no small feat. So, back then, they were aware of this as they stood beside me. After letting go of my gnosis, I never expected to see a day like this again. Thank you, friend. Ah, yes. I have a new contract here. Care to take a look at it together?
Oh boy. Never a dull moment with Zhongli. Always out to complete a contract. I mean, I feel like those are like commissions to him almost. It's like he's like an adventurer in his own right. Love Zhongli. Loved his character quest. Love his involvement in the main Archon story. Loved his part 2 quest with Ajdaha even more. Like the lore that came from that. And I'm assuming we're gonna get more of Zhongli as the story of the Archons and Dainsleif and Conria, you know, further out as time goes on. But love Zhongli and really liked learning more about him. Yeah, so I think now we're getting on to Venti next. Oh god.